Greetings RC friends, welcome to Props and Wheels. Wow! 2 RC airplane reviews on the same day, the last day of 2021. It's December 31st, and if you watched the last episode, I reviewed this Flybear or Fei Xiong FX620, which is basically the copy of F-35 Lightning from Lockheed Martin. And now I'll be reviewing on the same day the sibling of it. This is FX620. And the packaging is the same size, the picture on the packaging is different. The review, I'll put it over here as well as down in the description. These are 25mm wingspan series. This came a little crushed, so I already opened it up actually to take a look. And there's a little bit of damage. These planes come assembled. Nothing here. That means that you don't have to put in the vertical stabilizers, these. So they are prone to getting crushed if the box gets crushed. And they also gave this like separately, the nose. Interesting. I haven't seen that. Usually they come in already attached, but the same controller it looks like the last one. I'm having trouble taking it out. Yeah, I think the box got quite a bit crushed. Let's put these back in. Yeah, it looks like the same type of controller as the FX635. Well, you know, some differences. It's not exactly the same, but the wingspan looks similar. Let's measure it very quickly to confirm. Yeah, it is. Let me show you. It is 25 centimeters, that's 250 millimeters. And the same package, front and main landing gear, charging adapter, and also one set of propellers this way. And of course the instruction manual, exact same instruction manual, one side Chinese, one side English. And it has the schematics of FX635 as well as FX620, which this one is. And I'm a little worried about this, but this is EPO or EPP, so I should be able to bend these back. I may have to heat it a little bit, but I do not expect too much trouble. And the battery comes in already inside the battery compartment like this, not attached. And it looks like it is the same exact battery, one cell 3.7 volt lithium polymer battery, that's 150 milliamp hours, exact the same as the previous one. The color is very bright. I should not have any issues seeing this outdoors, as you may have seen from the previous flight. It is a little damp, it's not raining, but it is foggy. So this should be very easy to see against that gray sky and clouds. And I love about these airplanes, these Fei Xiong, they always put an on-off switch. This is so convenient. Once you're done flying, you can leave the battery and then just turn it off. And you can bring it and charge it later. You don't have to remove it. And on this one, I'm seeing something different that the other one doesn't have, which is there are two little jacks and they look like they may be for lights. I have some lights, wing lights, that I got for C-17 transport fighter, and they sell it for that, but it may fit this. If it does, I may just put these on, if this flies well, and make it a night flight. I'm glad they put it outside, so it makes it so much easier to connect those light strips. The landing gear come in very easily, so this is like wire landing gear, just goes into one slot. The other one, the front landing gear, just slides into the slot over here, like this. And here we go. And this usually they come already attached, but this one, they left it off, and I may have to put a little bit of tape so it doesn't fall off. And these tend to be a little tail heavy to make them a little less stable, and then the stabilizing gyro system inside keeps them flying a little slower at a higher alpha like this. And I like them to fly a little faster and a little more inherently stable. So if I have to put some weight at the nose, I can pull it off and then put some weight over here with some hot glue and then put this back on. And it will fly better, believe me. Especially when there is wind, even a slight breeze, you don't want a plane to be tail heavy because it is inherently unstable. So the gyro, the control board, is trying to stabilize it on the go by changing the thrust to each of these propellers. So it's a differential thrust, that's how these turn and get stabilized. Okay, so this, I already know that this takes 2 AA batteries from the last one, and let's put those in and test that everything is working correctly before I charge the battery. There should be some residual charge in the battery. They always come with about 30 to 40% charge in them. So let's connect the battery. I love these lossy connectors. They are so universal and so easy to connect. And let's turn on the little switch, and then you should see a light blinking underneath over here. So it's waiting to be paired to the controller. So you turn the controller on with this center button, and then you pull the throttle all the way down. This is the left stick. Go all the way up, pull it all the way down, and the light stops blinking on both of these. It's solid now. And then you give a little throttle and it has power and for turning as well. Now the way these turn are differential thrust. So you give throttle, and when you want to turn, one propeller, one motor spins faster than the other one and then just turns towards the other side. And let me show you the gyro stabilization. When it's banking right left or yawing right left, it's giving differential thrust to put it back on course. Imagine wind hits from underneath the left wing, it just flips like that. It will give a little more thrust to the right and then push it that way so that it just levels itself off. And the same way, going up and down does the same thing. In that case, it is increasing or decreasing the thrust to both of those motors or propellers. Alright, everything seems to be working. Let's turn it off, and before I start charging the battery, I'm going to quickly weigh it just to make sure that what it says here is correct. Last time we weighed it, it is saying 24 grams. This was definitely more than that, especially with the battery. I'm going to put some foam so that nothing is touching the ground. Let's tear it. 0. And the battery as well as the landing gear are all installed. Let's put it like this. I want you to be able to see. Nothing should be touching. Well, it doesn't work that way. Let me take the landing gear off and then put on it like this. So without landing gear, it is 30.7. Let's add the landing gear to the mix, and it is almost 32 grams. Maybe when they weighed it and wrote down 24 grams, they took the battery as well as the landing gear off. I don't know why they will do that, but let's try again. It says 0. Let's put just the plane without the landing gear and battery. It is still close to 26 grams, so that's not correct, but everything else is good. So let's charge up the battery and go outside. We are out in the local park, and if you have watched the previous video that I posted about the sibling of today's plane, this is FX635. You already know I was extremely happy with the performance of this one. Out of the box, it flew great in these low wind conditions today. And during the last hour or so, the conditions did not change. Actually, it improved a little bit. We are also getting a little more light, so the lighting will be probably better for the FX620 flight review. That is already charged in the battery compartment. You turn it on so that little red light should be blinking. You put it on the ground, on a flat. It needs to be horizontal because it is going to go through gyro calibration. And then you basically turn on the controller, the tiny little controller. The throttle should be all the way down. Then you go up, lights blinking faster. You go down, lights stop blinking. Now it should be bound.
I have high hopes because I had such a great experience with the previous one. Hopefully this won't disappoint me. The only difference is, you know, I tried to bend these back. They were crushed in the box during shipping, and they are not completely flat, so they're all crooked. This is looking inward, this is looking outward, and they're all bent. So I don't know if it's going to make a big difference in the flight performance, but if it does, you know, I have to do a better job of fixing it. Okay, let's take off. Again, high alpha is the other one. And very little throttle is enough. I'm decreasing the throttle to about maybe 30%. Let's bring it a little lower this time compared to the previous video, so you can see how well it flies actually, and you can get some nice close-up shots with it, hopefully without accidentally landing it. Here we go, nice and close. Very nice stable airplane. I mean, there's not much wind, so that really helps. I need to fly these airplanes again on a windier day, maybe 5 miles per hour or more. And it flies nice and slow as well, considering this is a jet airplane. I mean, modeled after a jet airplane. Usually they fly very fast, but somehow the way they built this with very light materials, only about 30 grams, makes it a slow fly. Right now it's gliding actually. See? Okay, let's kind of go up a little bit and then do a little bit of stunts. Because on one side of the box, I should probably put the picture of it. It says like stunt flying or something. So the way you do it, like you cut down the power and you go up again. You cut down and then the nose comes down and then you suddenly do it and you should do a loop. Didn't quite do it, but let's try again. You basically get it in the undulations. Okay, let's turn it this way towards us. Full throttle and then full throttle again, and it should be able to be half a loop. I need a little bit of more speed. So full power down, full power again, down, full power again. No, okay, let's glide a little bit. So it's gliding right now. It's very stable. It is kind of veering a little bit right. Probably it was the wind that's turning it around, so it doesn't go out of sight. Right now there's zero throttle, but every time I'm making a turn, of course it is applying a little bit of thrust. So probably there's a little bit more breeze up there, so it doesn't want to come down. See, it is a floater, people. It's a floater. It glides great, unexpected for this kind of from this kind of airplane. It's still gliding. I cut it down again. I mean, it's coming. And the stability is working very well, although I checked and this is not really proportion control. Let me land it and show you actually. You can see. Okay. Here we go. It was a rough landing on my head, but okay. So let's give it a little power, right? I'm just going to modulate it. Do you see that? Do you hear that? There's a point on the stick which is just changing from 0 to 100. Like when it's I'm not giving it the throttle, you just keep pushing it to the left and nothing, and then it's maximum. It doesn't change the maximum. So this is called on-off or binary kind of control. It's not proportional. It's on-off, on-off. It's either 100% or 0%. So now I'm going to take off the landing gear, which is going to save a couple grams probably, and fly it like that. And the other one, the other sibling, flew great. I expect the same thing. It will also cut down drag a little bit, probably the battery will last. And since it's flying so good, I'm going to check if the light strip that I have for the C-17 transport airplane, that's also a 2-channel, is going to fit this one, because I have some extra strips. If it does, I'm going to put those light strips on, and then we are going to have a night flying. Okay, no landing gear. Alright, let me try to keep it all close, because this is a small airplane, and red, by the way, looks great and it's very visible. You can basically fly it all day long at that, how much? Like 30% throttle in circles. Look at that. You just modulate. If it is coming down a little bit, just give it like a tiny hair. So it will start climbing, and then if it's climbing, just one tiny hair down and it will start coming. And these are all, right now I'm doing full left-hand turns. It's not proportional, so it's always full. So let's straighten it out, cut down the power slightly, and then start doing a little right-hand turns. Right-hand turns seem to be a little tighter than left-hand turns. I don't know if it's my imagination. Yeah, left-hand turns I could take a little longer and then larger radius. But it may be the way I calibrated, maybe one wing was lower than the other one, and if that's the case, it is always flying a little like towards right probably. Let's see if I give it a try. Yeah, it's kind of like turning right now. Okay, well, I can land and recalibrate, but who cares? It's flying good. It is flying great, actually. I'm really enjoying it. I will love to see it fly on a windy day. And what I'm going to do, I did not do this during the last video, the sibling video of the FX620 review. But on this one, I'm going to attempt adding a dime and see if I can make it fly a little faster. Make it faster, like a jet-like airplane. Okay, so let's take out my little helper from the pocket. I carry a penny, a dime, a nickel, and a quarter. Quarter is like a last resort usually, and for larger airplanes, if I have to use the quarter on this one, it is usually irredeemable. That plane is irredeemable. Doesn't fly well after adding so much weight. Okay, so I'm just going to use my other friend, which is the invisible tape or magic tape. Let's put it on the bottom, smack in the middle. And here we go. We have a little bit of a little helper over here. Oh boy. And let's see how the flight characteristics change. So I'm assuming that I will have to give more throttle for a better, faster takeoff. So let's go. Yeah, it definitely changes flight characteristics. It is flying faster, and I have to look at the throttle stick. It is at 50%. It is flying faster and then losing a little bit of altitude during the turn, so I have to increase. But it's definitely more stable. I mean, look. It doesn't do those up and down phagoid oscillations that are called as much. And when I cut down the power, it starts coming down pretty quickly. See? Still glides well. Still glides well. Controllable, definitely. Whoa! That was close call. Okay. That's my mistake. That's my mistake, but of course, no damage. I mean, look at the nose. It is like a little rubber nose. So, and back in the air. I like skimming the surface like this. Again, I think the left turn has a larger radius. I'm doing a left turn here, and let's see the right turn. Yeah, right turn is losing definitely the full throttle. I barely saved it. Right turn loses more altitude. Do you see? So I'm going to go to left turn, and then left turn is okay. You know, it's lost a little bit of altitude, but it's keeping its altitude. Didn't need any throttle adjustment. This is even more fun. I mean, it flies faster, and then it's I mean, these little planes, they do not pump the adrenaline too much because they are so safe, so stable usually. But hey, if you just want to get that level one notch up, add a little bit of weight, or just fly it very close to the tree and the road sign. That will do it. So I let go of the stick, and it's kind of leaning towards right. So yeah, I may have to do another calibration. Actually, I just cut down the power. Doesn't want to come down. Let's land it again. It's going to be a little harder to catch now. It's faster. Okay. Hi. So we did a belly landing this time, no hand landing. It was coming way too fast. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off and turn the controller off and make sure that, let's turn it back on, and I'm going to make sure that I'm kind of holding it very horizontal like that, very straight. I hope I'm looking correctly and then keeping horizontal. So let's turn on the transmitter, up, down. Let's see if that calibration did any difference. Oh, it didn't go well. I guess I didn't give enough throttle, or maybe I just holding the nose too up during that calibration. A little bit of dirt. No damage, of course. Actually, it got some dirt to the nose. May have given a little more weight in the nose. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's time to take that weight off. Either the battery is getting really low and it doesn't have enough power to keep it up in the air, or all the dirt that got under that dime is kind of making it more difficult to fly. And actually the wind picked up. I can feel it in my face coming this way, so I'm going to take off towards the wind. Okay, back to its original self. Very floaty, kind of wagging its wings a little bit. The stability control, the gyro is doing its job, and it's flying faster this way because it's going with the wind. Let's turn it around, bring it down a little bit so you can see it's not a speck in the sky. And beautiful red, easy to see. I'm really happy with it. Over the other camera, let's go down and bring it back for a hand landing, hopefully. Let's stabilize and come towards me. Right now the wind is coming from my back. Let's see if I can do a stabilized hand landing. Yes. And another favorite, right out of the box. Although it had crooked tail, vertical stabilizer, it flew great. And these two, the siblings, from Fei Xiong or Flybear, the 600 series, FX600 series, they did not disappoint at all. They are on top 10 list right now. Although they are smaller, they even fly better than their older sibling, the FX820, in my opinion, that had a lot of weight in the front in order to keep it balanced, flying well. Although the controller is not non-proportional, everything against them, it doesn't have rates, very simple, but simple is sometimes really good. If it works, it is good. Highly recommend it. For less than $20, you are getting, I think, a technological wonder. You couldn't even thought about these kind of things 20 years ago when I was studying like RC with the glow engines and all that bullshit that I don't care about at all right now. Don't get me wrong, I mean, if you are flying those, kudos to you, but I'm done with gas, I'm done with glow. Electric is the way to go for me. Alright folks, thank you very much for watching, and if you are watching it in 2022, Happy New Year. Hope to see you on the next video. Stay safe and healthy. Bye bye.